Hey, explorers of Earth's mysteries! Today, we're going on a journey deep within our planet. Our destination, the origins of some of the most fascinating things we encounter in our everyday lives. We're talking about the black lumps that power our cities, the slick substance that fuels our vehicles, and the dazzling stones that adorn our finest jewelry. Yes, we're delving into the stories of coal, oil, and diamonds. These are not just simple elements. They carry within them tales of ancient forests, primordial oceans, and the very heart of our Earth. They are the result of millions of years of geological processes, each unique and fascinating in their own right. But what exactly are these processes? How do they transform simple materials into the valuable resources we rely on today? We'll uncover the stories of three incredible things hidden beneath our feet: coal, oil, and diamonds. But how did they come to be? Let's dig in. Imagine a world millions of years ago, with dense, swampy forests filled with giant ferns and trees. The air is thick with moisture, and the ground beneath your feet is a spongy mat of decaying plant matter. This was a time when life was flourishing, and the earth was covered in lush, green vegetation. Now, let's talk about the life cycle of these plants. Just like every living thing, plants too have their time in the sun before they meet their inevitable end. But in these ancient forests, the story didn't end there. When these towering trees and expansive ferns died, they fell into the waterlogged ground. Unlike the leaves in your backyard that decay and disappear over time, these plants didn't rot away. The swamps they lived in acted as a protective shield, keeping them away from air and bacteria, the usual culprits behind decomposition. As more and more plants died, they piled onto one another, forming thick layers of dead plant matter. Over time, these layers got buried deeper and deeper by mud and other materials. Think of it as nature playing its own version of the game Jenga, stacking layer upon layer, except in this case, the stack didn't topple over. Now, here comes the interesting part. With thousands of years passing by, the weight and heat from the layers above started to change these plant remains. This pressure cooker situation, courtesy of Mother Earth, transformed the plant remains into a dark, solid rock we know as coal. Yes, the same coal that we use to fire up barbecues or heat up homes in winter. But how does this happen? Well, the heat and pressure squeeze out the water and other components from the plant matter, leaving behind mostly carbon. This carbon, under the right conditions, gets compressed and hardens into coal. It's a process that takes millions of years, turning lush green forests into black, energy-rich coal. Now here's a fun fact for you. The coal we burn today, whether to produce electricity or to heat homes, comes from plants that lived around 300 million years ago. That's right. Every time you switch on a light or turn up the heater, you're tapping into the energy stored by ancient plants. It's like a time capsule holding the energy from the sun that these plants absorbed all those years ago. So, the next time you see a lump of coal, remember this story from the ancient forests. Remember the giant ferns and trees, their death in the swampy grounds, and their transformation under immense heat and pressure. It's a testament to the incredible power of nature and the fascinating story of our planet. It's a story of life, death, and rebirth, a cycle that has been going on for millions of years and will continue long after we're gone. And that's the story of coal, a story from the ancient forests. The coal we use today to produce electricity or heat homes comes from plants that lived 300 million years ago. Millions of years ago, our planet's oceans were teeming with tiny creatures called plankton. Let's set sail on a voyage to the ancient oceans, a place and time where the story of oil begins. Picture in your mind the teeming life of these waters, a swirling kaleidoscope of tiny organisms known as plankton. These minute life forms, no bigger than a pinhead, are the unsung heroes in our tale. When their short lives came to an end, they fell in a silent, eternal rain towards the ocean floor. There, they joined the remains of other marine organisms, creating a thick organic blanket that carpeted the seabed. This layer of marine detritus is the humble beginning of a substance that powers our modern world: oil. Now imagine sand, silt, and other sediments washing over this organic layer carried by rivers from the land or stirred up by ocean currents. Over time, this sediment covered the organic layer, burying it deeper and deeper beneath the ocean floor. The plankton and marine organisms, once free-floating in the sunlit waters, were now entombed in a growing mound of sediment, their resting place becoming a time capsule of Earth's history. As the centuries rolled by, the pressure from the layers above and the heat from the Earth's core began to transform this organic material. This process wasn't quick, it took millions upon millions of years. But under these extreme conditions, the organic matter was cooked, broken down, and eventually turned into a thick black substance we know as crude oil. In some cases, it also turned into a gas, the natural gas that heats our homes and cooks our food. The story doesn't end there though. As our planet's crust shifted and moved over millions of years, some of this oil and gas were trapped in pockets between layers of rock. These pockets, also known as reservoirs, are where we find oil and gas today. They're like Mother Nature's storage tanks, holding these valuable resources until we extract them. And extract them we do. We drill deep into the earth, sometimes over a mile down, to reach these reservoirs. Once tapped, the oil and gas rise to the surface, where we collect them. From there, it's a journey to refineries, where they're processed into the fuels that power our cars, heat our homes, and help our planes soar in the skies. It's fascinating to think that the oil and gas we use today started their journey millions of years ago, as tiny plankton in the ancient oceans. Their transformation from living organisms to a source of energy is a testament to the incredible processes that take place beneath our feet. So the next time you fill up your car or switch on your gas stove, take a moment to appreciate the journey that oil and gas have taken. From the depths of ancient oceans to the heart of our modern lives, they truly are the gifts of the ancient seas. As the Earth's crust shifted and moved, some of this oil got trapped in pockets between rocks. And that's where we find it today, extracting it to fuel our cars, planes, and homes. Everything living is made of tiny building blocks, and one of them is called carbon. Now, imagine this carbon buried deep, deep inside Earth. Let's embark on a journey through the heart of our planet, where we'll witness the transformation of humble carbon into one of Earth's most dazzling treasures, diamonds. Down there, about 100 miles below the surface, the environment is a far cry from the world we know. Picture extreme temperatures of thousands of degrees Fahrenheit and a pressure that's 1,000,000 times higher than at sea level. This is not a place for the faint of heart, or for that matter, anything living. But for carbon, it's a place of rebirth. In this intense crucible, carbon undergoes a remarkable metamorphosis. The extreme heat and pressure force the carbon atoms to bond together in a unique way. It's as if they're huddling together, seeking strength in unity. Each carbon atom forms strong bonds with 4 other carbon atoms, creating a rigid tetrahedral structure. This unique arrangement is what gives diamonds their renowned hardness, making them the hardest natural substance known to man. But the birth of a diamond is only half the story. These gems are born deep within the earth, far from prying eyes and probing hands. So how do they end up in engagement rings, royal crowns, and museum displays? Enter the explosive and fiery world of volcanoes. Sometimes, deep source volcanic eruptions occur, powerful enough to reach the depths where diamonds reside. These eruptions create fast-flowing currents of molten rock or magma that act as elevators racing towards the surface. Encased in this special magma, known as kimberlite, the diamonds hitch a ride to the surface. This isn't a leisurely journey though. The magma travels at great speeds, which is crucial for the survival of our precious cargo. If the magma traveled too slowly, the diamonds would be exposed to lower pressures and they would simply turn back into graphite, the same stuff your pencil lead is made of. Once they reach the surface, the diamonds are encased in the hardened kimberlite, forming what we call kimberlite pipes. These pipes are the primary source of diamonds, And it's these that miners dig up in their search for these sparkling treasures. But not all diamonds end up in mines. Some are swept away by rivers and deposited along their banks. Over time, natural processes of erosion expose these diamonds, revealing their shimmering beauty to the world. And that's when we find them, valuing them for their beauty and strength. We cut and polish them, highlighting their natural brilliance and transforming them into the gems we know and love. From the heart of the earth to the heart of a ring, each diamond has a story of an epic journey. A journey that began with a humble carbon atom, transformed under extreme conditions, and brought to the surface by the fiery power of a volcano. So the next time you see a diamond twinkling in a piece of jewelry, remember its incredible journey. A journey that speaks of the dynamic and powerful processes at work beneath our feet, shaping the world as we know it and creating Earth's sparkling treasures. Over time, erosion and other natural processes expose these diamonds. That's when we find them, valuing them for their beauty and strength. Isn't our Earth amazing? It's like a grand chef with its own recipes. Indeed, the planet we call home has a knack for cooking up some of the most incredible things beneath our very feet. Let's take a moment to appreciate the fascinating processes our Earth undergoes to bring us coal, oil, and diamonds. In the grand kitchen of Mother Earth, the recipe for coal begins with a simple ingredient: plants. Not just any plants, but those that thrived in dense, swampy forests millions of years ago. Once these plants met their end, they didn't just waste away. Instead, they fell into the waterlogged ground, layer upon layer, until the weight and heat of the earth transformed them into the dark solid rock we know as coal. It's a story that dates back to ancient times, a testament to the enduring power of nature. Next on the menu is oil, a gift from the ancient oceans. Picture a world teeming with tiny organisms called plankton. When these minute creatures died, they sank to the ocean floor, forming a thick blanket of organic material. Over time, this layer was buried deeper and deeper, subjected to the Earth's heat and pressure. This is how crude oil and natural gas came to be, trapped in pockets amid the rocks, waiting to be discovered and used to fuel our modern world. Finally, there are diamonds, Earth's sparkling treasures. These precious gems have a humble beginning as carbon, one of life's essential building blocks. When this carbon is buried about 100 miles below the surface, where heat and pressure are extreme, it undergoes a total transformation. The result is a crystal, a diamond brought closer to the surface by explosive volcanoes and finally unearthed by natural processes. So the next time you see a piece of coal, fill up your car, or admire a diamond, remember the incredible stories they tell of our planet's past. These treasures are not just useful resources or beautiful gems, they are narratives of Earth's history, a testament to the planet's amazing ability to create and transform.